where the deepest shadows of love and betrayal finally surface. Tonight's story will pull you into the quiet, sharp ache of a marriage undone by a single reckless moment. Candlelight danced across the dining table as Mark looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite decipher. It was his 34th birthday, and I had gone out of my way to make the night memorable. His favorite dinner, a bottle of Merlot, and a peaceful evening without our phones. But that look in his eyes, a mix of doubt and fatigue, made the air feel heavier than the wine in my glass. "You've been distant lately, Claire," he said softly, his fork hovering over the plate. "You come home late. You keep your phone close. You laugh at messages you don't show me. I don't want to ruin tonight, but I need to ask, are you seeing someone else?" The words hung like a blade above my head. I laughed, too loud, too sharp. "Are you serious, Mark? Tonight of all nights?" I forced a smirk to mask my unease. "Should I just tell you I ran off with a millionaire and came back for dessert?" It was meant as a joke to deflect. But when I saw his face harden, I realized I had hit a wound that had been bleeding for weeks. Mark pushed his chair back slowly. "That's not funny, Claire," he whispered. "Not when I ask seriously. Not when I already feel like I'm losing you." And just like that, the birthday dinner became the night he walked out. I didn't expect him to leave. Mark had always been patient, almost to a fault. We had been married 7 years, and he wasn't the type to slam doors or throw accusations. But that night, he grabbed his coat, his car keys, and left quietly. The silence that followed was deafening. At first, I was furious. Furious at him for ruining his own birthday. Furious at myself for making that careless joke. Furious at the tension that had been quietly growing between us for months. But beneath that anger was something far more dangerous.
Fear.
Because Mark wasn't wrong. It had started 3 months earlier. A man named Dylan had joined our advertising firm. Charismatic, witty, and effortlessly charming. He made dull office hours feel exciting again. It wasn't that Mark and I were unhappy. We were just numb. Life had settled into routines of work, bills, and rare date nights where we were too tired to discuss anything beyond the leaky tap or the neighbor's barking dog. Dylan noticed things Mark hadn't in a long time: a new perfume, a change in my hair, the way I lingered by the coffee machine on Monday mornings. At first, it was harmless. Jokes about deadlines, sharing lunch, walking together to the parking lot. But late-night texts started creeping in, the kind that made me smile when I should have been asleep beside my husband. I told myself it was innocent, but guilt surfaced in tiny ways, in placing my phone face down, in avoiding Mark's touch in bed, in flinching when he asked, "Who's texting you so late?" That night, Mark didn't come home. I called him twice. No answer. By morning, his closet was half empty, a note left on the counter. "I didn't want this to be true. I warned you because I still loved you. Last night, you gave me the answer I feared." No shouting, no dramatic threats, just quiet, devastating confirmation. I went to work that day on autopilot. Across from Dylan in the conference room, my red eyes didn't go unnoticed. "Are you okay?" he asked. I nodded, forcing a smile, but the weight in my chest was suffocating. His attention no longer felt thrilling, it felt toxic. Mark stayed away, sleeping at his brother's place across town. His silence was louder than any argument we had ever had. Days became weeks. A few practical texts about bills, nothing about us. I stopped texting Dylan, stopped laughing at his jokes, stopped checking my phone at night. I wasn't ready to admit I had destroyed my marriage for fleeting excitement, but every time I passed our wedding photo, the truth stared back. 2 weeks later, I saw Mark at the grocery store. He looked thinner, exhausted, but his eyes were clearer than mine had been in months. "Mark, wait," I called. He paused, hands on the cart, but didn't smile. "Claire, can we talk?" My voice broke. People passed, indifferent, but I felt exposed. "There's nothing left to discuss," he said calmly. "I warned you. I told you what I feared. You didn't take me seriously. It wasn't Mark. I didn't sleep with him." My words spilled out too loudly. A child giggled nearby. He didn't flinch. "Maybe not, but you joked about it." You let someone else occupy your mind, your texts, the space between us. Do you know how humiliating that is? Trying to save a marriage and being mocked. I wanted to scream it was just boredom, office banter, a lack of attention. But deep down, I knew it was simpler. I crossed a line and made a joke, expecting him to swallow his pain for a birthday dinner. Mark, can we fix this? Counseling? Anything? He shook his head. I spent months trying to fix it while you entertain someone else. I won't beg for loyalty. And he left again, empty-handed this time. Divorce papers came a month later. No shouting, no drawn-out courtroom battle. 7 years of memories reduced to boxes and signatures. Dylan reached out a few times, but every word was salt on a self-inflicted wound. I blocked him, not in anger, but to stop the reminder of what I had traded for nothing. Nights were hardest. Lying in a half-empty bed, I replayed every choice, putting the phone down, saying no to extra coffee, listening when Mark expressed distance, holding his hand instead of mocking him. Love doesn't die in one blow. It fades through neglect, small betrayals, careless jokes at the wrong time. Months later, I saw Mark at a friend's engagement party, laughing with someone new, a woman I didn't know. He looked lighter, freer. He nodded politely when he saw me. No malice, just closure. That's when I understood. He didn't leave because of the joke. It confirmed everything he feared. That I had broken the line we had drawn, that my laughter dismissed the tension, that my joke became his proof. If I could return to that birthday night, I wouldn't buy fancier wine or cook a better meal. I'd have put the phone away months earlier. I'd have looked him in the eyes and told the truth, that I was slipping, that I needed him to pull me back, that I wanted no one else but him. Time doesn't bend for regret, it only carves it deeper. Now, when people ask why my marriage ended, I tell them, I joked about breaking his heart, and he finally stopped laughing. If this story resonated, share your thoughts below. Have you ever watched love unravel, one small choice at a time? Until next time, this is Breakup Cheater, where every scar tells a story.